Good morning, Monsieur Lapedite. I am Colonel Hans Landa of the SS. I was hoping you could invite me inside your home and we could have a discussion.
And it is so frustrating. We're finally close to getting this, our countywide HCP. But still, people are being tortured. Sometimes we torture people. We don't mean to, but we do.
The trash, as the citation calls my very valuable equipment materials, which the planning department told me would be okay because they were temporary, but I took them down, exposed all of my materials. I've suffered quite a few losses, and I proceeded to engage the planning permitting process to try and get a compliant addition to my property. Taking them down just has really cost me a tremendous amount of money. Getting a permit to put the building that I need back up, a 900 square foot roof over structure to keep the rain and the weather off of valuable equipment, has been ongoing since the very moment I took those structures down. And I have the documentation to substantiate that.
Sometimes we torture people.
To get my scattered stuff under as much protection as I can. I don't own a junkyard. I don't own junk. Many of my things have become junk because of the delays in this process.
Sometimes we torture people.
And the resulting chaos, but Charlie is presenting the case as if nothing has happened, and I've spent thousands of dollars for 2 years trying to get up and running, and I can't protect my material and equipment without that structure, and I'm in the business of putting human lives at risk. So before I can do that, I have to prove that I can own and operate a shop.
Sometimes we torture people.
At that time, I recognized that I can't do business here, that I have a shallow water diving company, I have a contracting company, and I have a deep water company, which is where my substantial assets are located, and all of them are in Port Charlotte. I set all of these businesses up here to go to work, and now I can't operate my diving company out of here.
Sometimes we torture people.
On April 9th, I moved almost everything in the yard. You know, I've hired multiple forklifts to try and save my equipment from the weather exposure, much of it unsuccessfully. I've lost a lot of money here.
Sometimes we torture people.
I didn't expect this consequence of moving my Connex boxes. I didn't know my Connex boxes aren't legal in Charlotte County. They're worth over $500,000, and they're the heart of my saturation diving system.
Sometimes we torture people.
As well as start looking for a new home for my saturation diving company.
If they had any further evidence. Sir, it appears that the equipment, at least some portion of it, the box material that you described for us, is still on the property. It appears that the violations and...
I'm sorry, what is still on the property?
I think you'd find it as a box material of some sort, and perhaps my nomenclature isn't correct. But there's equipment and items out on the property. I do find that still is a continuing violation. Therefore, I'm going to approve the affidavit and the requested fine.
Sometimes we torture people.
What I would suggest to you, if you can, is you can work with the Code Enforcement Department to try to get this resolved. I don't know.
I've been at it for a year and a half, and I've spent almost $100,000 in losses and expenses, and I haven't earned a nickel yet.
Well, I understand. Hopefully that'll change for you in the future, sir, but I have to go with the evidence in the case, and so
okay, and the evidence is that you're still a nondescript box? What is the evidence, sir?
My nomenclature may not be correct, but there is...
Well, there isn't any junk on my property, so the nomenclature isn't correct, but what is it exactly that I'm being cited for now?
And I know this is equipment to you. The county sees it differently, and I've made my ruling that I'm going to enforce the affidavit of noncompliance as stated.
But still, people are being tortured. Sometimes we torture people. We don't mean to, but we do.
Can we get an update on that?